Yeah, I'm very nice.
Mo Pwuhng Pohnpei Pohnpei Walan wa Lelan Wen Pohnpei Pwuhng Pohnpei Pasalapalapis wow ng Marpian Wen Natalini Pwuhng Pohnpei Sangoro Pasalapalap ng Marpian Wen Sonu Pwuhng Pohnpei Saugsalan ng Marki and Wayne Victory. Pwuhng Pohnpei ng Kakuniya ng Marki and Wayne Sogas. Pwuhng Pohnpei Pasalapalap Pohnpei ng Marki and Wayne. Wala pang kurang naamkan ko and Wayne Pohnpei. Pwuhng Sabulmar likan ko, nalalang ko. O Sabulmar lang samoro labalap koros ng Wayne Pohnpei. Pwuhng Tabalabakan ng national government, state governments kan, Pohnpei State Legislature Speaker, Honorable Martin Yamaguchi, Pohnpei Supreme Court Chief Justice, Nelson Joseph, Pwuhng Labalaban Local Government kan koros ng Wayne Pohnpei. O Wayne Pohnpei koros, metaan ka korkoronga, terorong program ranway. Kay tuwag sa karmisip, kay baan padron niya, sa ulmar tunay pa, MC, ang kakamakamagat program ng 28 Micronesian Island Forum. Lukabagan, Labalabkan Koros ng Wayne FSM, Palau, Republic of the Marshall Islands, Naayaro, Pwuhng, Sianamay, o Ewe State Country Wayne FSM. Ranwood, kaya Kadkadaur accept with kaya niya Ewe Kanilin Micronesian. So with that, I dispense my salutations and respect in our local language as this program may be aired. So on behalf of the Governor of Pohnpei State and the people and this government, it is our high privilege, myself and my fellow MC, Ms. Kiana Siegel, to serve you as Master of Ceremonies at this very auspicious and special occasion of opening of the Forum Leaders Meeting. At this gathering, we are family. We come from every corner of this great place, Micronesia. And so, ladies and gentlemen, we are now going to proceed with the introduction and procession of our leaders. So with that, I go to the program. Please welcome in this room before I bring them, my sincere respect to all excellencies in this room, the diplomatic corps, heads of international organizations, development partners, SPC, UN, everyone in this room that are gathered to support our leader at this 28 MIF. We thank you. We thank you sincerely. And your support has enabled it. So with that, please allow me to proceed with the program. Please welcome His Excellency Suranggal S. Wicks, Jr., President of the Republic of Palau. Please help me welcome Her Excellency Hilda C. Aini, President of the Republic of the Marshall Islands. Please help me welcome His Excellency President Wesley W. Simena of the Federated States of Micronesia. But at this forum, he is represented by the Honorable Aaron P. Pahrek, Vice President of the Federated States of Micronesia and Second Lady of the FSM. Welcome, Vice President. Please help me welcome His Excellency David W.R. Etienne, President of the Republic of Nauru, represented by Special Envoy and Head of Delegation, the Honorable Leona Waitapu. Please help me welcome the Honorable Lourdes A. Leon Guerrero, Governor of the U.S. Territory of Pwuhng, represented by Head of Delegation, Ricky R. Orsini, Director of Policy. Please help me welcome the Honorable Alexander R. Narun, Governor of the Pwuhng State, Federal States of Micronesia, accompanied by his First Lady. Thank you. Welcome, Governor. Please help me welcome the Honorable Kalensa W. Pahrek, Governor of the State of Pwuhng, Federal States of Micronesia, accompanied by his First Lady. Oh, nice. That's my first mistake today. I apologize. I'm going to do it again. Please help me welcome the Honorable Kalensa W. Pahrek, Governor of this Pohnpei State, Federal States of Micronesia, accompanied by the First Lady. Please help me welcome the Honorable Francis Itabai, Governor, State of Yap, Federal States of Micronesia. Please help me welcome Honorable David M. Aptan, Governor of the Commonwealth of the Northern Marianas, represented by Head of Delegation Clement Joseph Bermudez Jr. Please help me welcome the Honorable Carolina Smovic, Lieutenant Governor of the State of Pohnpei, Federal States of Micronesia. And finally, welcome, Lieutenant Governor. Finally, please help me welcome and bring the roof down to our host. Please help me welcome the Honorable Stevenson A. Joseph, Governor State of Pohnpei, Federal States of Micronesia, accompanied by First Lady Valentina Karstein. Welcome to all the principals of the 28th Micronesian Island Forum. Ladies and gentlemen, please remain standing as we ask the hosting of the color. But before I do that, Excellencies, Honorable Governors, distinguished delegates, members of the diplomatic corps, honored guests, ladies and gentlemen, all protocols observed, welcome to the official opening of the 28th Micronesian Island Forum. To open our proceeding, I kindly request all present please rise to the invocation and to remain standing, which you are, following the prayer. I will go ahead and now pray with our invocation. Lord, Heavenly Father, Creator of all things, earth, under the earth, in the sky, all around it. And within this space of Micronesia, here comes our leaders at the 28th Micronesian Island Forum. They gathered at this table as one family to discuss openly and freely and to inform their policy decision that will guide us collectively as a Micronesian region. We thank you for bringing them home safely here in Pohnpei, and we ask you to bless them and bless each of us that support them, that they may carry out their duties in this 28th Micronesian Island Forum. Lord, we trust you. We have gone through a number of times where we have called this forum off, but because you know the best timing and we trust you, this is your best timing and appointed time that the leaders will come. And so they're here. We ask you to guide each of them as they prepare to proceed with their proceeding. In your Son, Jesus Christ, we give you thanks and glory. Amen. You may be seated. Lord. Carry out. Club to give us the national anthem, Federal States of KAPWARESOU and followed by the anthem. Present. shared commitment to regional resilience, sustainable development, and unity of our islands across. Before we begin, please ensure all mobile phones and electronic devices are switched to silent mode. Our medical, detail personnel, and support staff are on site should you require assistance. To support a productive forum, the Pohnpei State Government is committed to providing a safe, respectful, and professional environment. We maintain a zero-tolerance policy for harassment of any kind and ask all attendees to uphold the higher standards of dignity and mutual respect throughout our proceedings. Thank you for the cooperation. I now have the distinct honor of calling upon the outgoing chair of the 27th Micronesian Island Forum, the chair of the 27th Micronesian Island Forum, Her Excellency Ilta Siani, President of the Republic of the Marshall Islands, to officially call the forum to order.
Thank you, President MC. Excellencies, traditional leaders, distinguished guests, youth, fellow Micronesian brothers and sisters. A very warm Yahweh from the people and government of the Republic of the Marshall Islands. Honorable Joseph, Governor of the State of Pohnpei, it is with great privilege that I join you and the people of Pohnpei on this important occasion as you host this year's 28th Micronesian Islands Forum. I am humbled to have served the Micronesian family and this forum as your chair for the past 13 months. And over the past 13 months, I had the opportunity to learn from individuals with such accolades for their continued professionalism, dedication, and contribution towards our Micronesian communities. Reflecting from last year's communique, we have endorsed the establishment of a selection committee for the appointment of the MIF Secretary General position. However, financial constraints continue to become a barrier in progressing this endeavor further. We feel that coordination efforts have become a continued struggle within this body, and having an equipped secretariat with appropriate personnel will alleviate this challenge. In addition, we have tasked the secretariat and PRs to conduct institutional review of the MIF standing committees to ensure that the work of the forum is streamlined, and we look forward to the updates on this matter. On health, I was inspired by the MIF Resolution 27-01 on the elimination of cervical cancer and MIF Resolution 27-02 upholding the World Health Assembly Resolution 78.28 on the effects of nuclear weapons on public health. Both issues have been ongoing, and the efforts to mitigate through various avenues must continue. On education, let us continue to encourage one another to seek potential pathways for higher education programs for our children, and continue our dialogue on establishing a regional tuition rate for both in-person and online modalities for our regional students. On transportation, the Marshall Islands have just concluded the Pacific Blue Shipping Partnership inaugural Ministerial Council meeting in June of this year, with an endorsement of a charter and formally committing to a joint Green Climate Fund-backed shipping decarbonization partnership, and we look forward to strengthening this initiative through collective efforts. On ocean, we will continue to be an advocate and supporter of the amended treaties on maritime boundaries and encourage others to consider the 2021 Fifth Declaration on preserving maritime zones in the face of climate change-related sea level rise into their respective maritime agreements and legislations. Speaking of climate change, distinguished members of this forum have been consistent on their call for major economies to address greenhouse gas emission to limit the temperature to 1.5 degrees. Climate financing, and we shall keep the momentum towards the lead up to the leaders' pre-COP meeting to be held in Fiji and Tuvalu in October later this year. Additionally, this forum has established a regional climate change committee to oversee the implications and possible solutions of climate change effects on our environment and marine resources, and we look forward to the formulation of committee members in accordance with the TOR. On Micronesia Challenge, we have endorsed the relocation of the Micronesia Challenge regional office from the Republic of Palau to the Republic of the Marshall Islands, and as an interim, the office will be located under the Marshall Islands Marine Resources Authority, pending post-country agreement to be finalized in due course. I'm also glad to announce that applicants for the executive director position are being evaluated at this point. Last year, we were struck by the cyber attacks occurring in the region that targets critical infrastructure, alongside the rapid growth of illegal drugs and human trafficking in this region, and we will continue our solidarity in monitoring and condemning transnational crimes and security attacks. Subsequently, we have called to establish a MIF, Regional Security Committee, and the development of a TOR for approval by leaders this week, and we anticipate that this will be ready for our consideration. Lastly, our recognition of youth engagement within this forum. I wish to thank the incoming chair for inviting them once again to partake in this year's Micronesian Islands Forum. As the outgoing chair of the Micronesian Islands Forum, I personally extend my sincerest appreciation for the valuable contribution of all members, whose collaboration and shared commitment have enabled the progress we will witness this week. On that note, it is now my great pleasure to officially pass on the baton to the incoming chair of 28th Micronesian Island Forum, and I wish to congratulate Governor Joseph of Pohnpei as he assumes this important role. I'm confident that under your leadership, this forum will continue to strengthen the bonds among our islands and advance practical cooperation that delivers meaningful results for our people. The choir of young people this morning remind us why we're here. Thank you, Governor. Congratulations once again, and come back.
Thank you, Excellency President Ilta Haini. We express our gratitude to you, Excellency President Haini. We now proceed to the formal transfer of chairmanship, which has taken place. It is my now distinct privilege to yield the floor to our new forum chair, the Honorable Stephen Sammy Joseph, Governor of Pohnpei State. Mr. Chairman, the floor is yours.
Pohnpei, Group MC, please allow me to pay my respect in a traditional manner. Ejuan, sa kanataan kapon, kaan kukuran, kaninap na pekspeks nanda. Sansan, kukuran ang sukaros magin, kung chay laramas. Sa kulima pasanti kan parusya na Pwuhng. Ejuan sa kanataan, kay pani, kaan kukuran, rekso kung Pohnpei. Wow na kaan kukuran sunan kan Pwuhng. Pagkawan wow luki sa pagmarikan ko, nanalang ko natin dito. O lang kaiti kan koros, kanitalian siya. I am honored to receive the Pohnpei to carry on the work of chairperson of this August month. I will try my best to serve you. I know it is a very difficult task coming behind such caliber of Honorable President Heine and previous chairpersons. But one thing I can assure you that I will do my best to carry out my responsibility as your chairman of the Micronesian Island Forum for the next several months. Your Excellencies, President's Whips and Heine, Honorable Vice President Pahrek and Mrs. Pahrek, Honorable Governors and Spouses, Special Envoys, Honorable Lieutenant Governor Pwuhng, members of the clergy, Dean and members of the Diplomatic Corps, Undersecretary Brown of the U.S. Department of Veterans Affairs, and esteemed members of your delegation, development partners, civil societies, private sector, honored guests, youth representatives, ladies and gentlemen. Kasalilia, and welcome to Pohnpei. It is a profound honor for Pohnpei to host the 28th Micronesian Islands Forum. I am especially honored to accept the chairship of this August Forum. As I look out this room, I feel the immense weight of the responsibility we carry. The responsibility of making the lives of our people better. So as we deliberate on the common issues we share, let's focus and find solutions. Tangible, practical solutions. And most importantly, put those solutions into action. Our theme, promote healthy communities, open doors to learning, I believe, points us exactly where we need to focus, or perhaps refocus. The theme touched on two sectors vital to the social and economic growth and development of our communities and its people. They are perhaps the sectors that get the most attention during election campaigns, but sadly, once in office, we tend to accept the status quo and become complicit, ignoring what could be, but instead allow the cycle to continue, because to disrupt the status quo is often viewed as too costly and, for some of us, a political system. Until we are willing to make real transformative changes to our health and education systems, only then can we realize tangible improvements. Now, don't get me wrong, our systems have served us well. But I think it is incumbent upon us leaders to continue to innovate and find better ways to provide these services to our people. For instance, let us look first at our health systems. For too long, our regional healthcare model has been reactive. Non-communicable disease is killing our people. We currently spend vast amounts of our limited resources treating these diseases after our people are already sick. This is both economically unsustainable and a tragedy for our families and our economies. We must shift our focus and our resources to prevention. Investing in clean water, local and healthier nutrition, and early screenings cost a fraction of what it takes to treat a chronic illness or fund of island medical referrals later. A healthy community is not one with the biggest hospital or the most advanced medical technology or even the best doctors. It is one where chronic illnesses such as NCD is minimized and eradicated, with fewer or no people needing to go to hospital to get treatment in the first place. To me, NCD is like a forest fire, burning out of control. We have been trying to put out this fire but to no avail. Sometimes, in order to save the unburned trees in the forest, is to dig a trench around them and let them burn. It is in all aspects a painful decision, but a decision we must make for a healthier community and a prosperous future. The second half of our theme focuses on learning, and our education system has served us well thus far, because we are around the table as leaders. Education is vital, but we must ask ourselves an honest question. Are we providing our youth with the specific skills that match the actual needs of our islands? We need concrete specific skills. We need concrete results. It is not enough to hand out certificates, in my mind. We must train our people in the technical fields, sustainable agriculture, mechanics, maritime skills, and technology that keep our local economies moving, and we must do that here at home. Let's partner with the private sector, the local industries that currently exist. The ferry sector, we believe, should be the driving engine for sustainable economic growth. When our skills training aligns with our actual job markets, our young people may very well likely stay back and not migrate elsewhere. Our communities thrive, and we reduce our reliance on outside expertise. Finally, we cannot talk about our future without talking about the environment. We are all living through the immediate impacts of climate change. Severe El Niño cycles. We've been predicted that we will be having severe El Niño soon, or probably already experiencing it. Droughts test our water security, and rising seas threaten our coastal infrastructure. We can no longer treat climate change as an emergency that catches us by surprise. It is a permanent part of our lives, and we are already living it, and it must be built into every single development plan, budget, and infrastructure project we design. Getting ahead of this crisis means building homes, water systems, and food supplies that are designed to endure, ensuring our people can continue to live securely on the islands they own. The people of Micronesia are watching us this week, especially our youth. They are not looking for grand declarations. They are looking for better health, education strategies that will empower them to build a resilient future for themselves and their children. Let us use these coming days to lock in the practical partnerships that deliver those results. Thank you, and may our discussion this week or the next few days be productive. So with that, I would like to recognize and turn the floor over to Your Excellency President Witt to deliver your remarks.
Consider and warm Ali from Mindanao, to my brothers and sisters of Micronesia, fellow leaders, and our distinguished representatives, our secretariat, and all our partners and guests. It is great to see you all. Governor Susan St. Joseph, First Lady, and the people and the government of Pohnpei. Thank you for the warmth, your hospitality, and for opening your island home to the Micronesian family once again. And it's good to be here again. I first came here in 1971. I'm not kidding how old I am, but it's great to be back. It is a privilege to be here, and in just a few days, Palau will have the honor of hosting the 55th Pacific Island Forum Leaders Meeting. And I apologize, Governor, that I have to leave to go back home this afternoon, so I won't be here for the rest of the meeting. But this is really the first time that we've had the 5th in Micronesia in the last 8 years. And as we all know, 5 years ago, our sub-region stood at a very different point. Our voices had been passed over from the forum's leadership, and we together were ready to walk out rather than accept a Pacific institution that did not see us as equal partners in its future. In Palau we have a fish that we paint on every abide. And that is called the masagu, or the surgeon fish. And we always say when they are out foraging, they do it alone, but when there's danger, they come together. And I think for us, that is our symbol of unity. And Micronesia came together, calling for reforms that ended up with the Suva agreement. And it really has restored confidence in the forum. And so today, of course, we have Baron Wanga as Secretary General representing Micronesia. We just opened the sub-regional office in Kiribati for Micronesia. And of course, the Office of the Ocean Pacific Commissioner is in Palau, headed by Marjorie. So truly, we are stronger together. And we're excited to be hosting the forum. And I don't bring this up as a debate or to relitigate old grievances, because that chapter is over and closed. Rather, I raise it because it is proof that when Micronesia speaks with one voice, the region listens. And that is the lesson I want to carry out of this room into the Pacific Islands Forum meeting. But before I go further, let me recognize the incredible work of our designated representatives. At the direction of the Secretariat, they've reviewed the terms of reference of our 14 standing committees. That review has found real overlap and an opportunity to make the MIF more focused, coordinated, and effective. The DRs have recommended that we merge education and workforce development into a single committee, bring tourism, trade, and transportation together, and organize related environmental, climate, and ocean work through a coordinated committee clusters. They have also directed the preparation of the terms of reference for the Regional Climate Change Committee. These recommendations are now before us for review, and I believe they offer us a practical path forward to a more focused and effective forum. The DRs have given us a practical proposal for clearer coordination and stronger delivery. And so on behalf of every leader in this room, I want to thank our representatives for their work. The work really points to something larger that I want to put before you today. We have the Micronesian President Summit, where we as leaders set a direction. But the Micronesian Islands Forum should be where that direction becomes action. Not a parallel conversation, but an implementing on it. And when we agree at the MPS on where the sub-region is going, the MIF and its committees should help us get there. And I say this as more than an internal reform. We should carry the same principle in the Pacific Island Forum. Our wider region does not suffer from a shortage of good ideas or well-written communiques. It suffers at times from the gap between what we as leaders decide and what actually reaches our people. Micronesia has the opportunity to show the rest of the Pacific what it looks like when a sub-region closes that distance, when intent and action are treated as two halves of the same job. Our task between now and the leaders' meeting in Palau is simple, to state, and harder to do. We should arrive as a sub-region that has already done its homework, not just aligned in attendance, but aligned in priorities. Our priorities should include, beginning with one that defines us as much as any, and that is our ocean. Long before it was a popular cause for celebrities and Instagram influencers, and ocean stewardship was a responsibility that Micronesians took, and we carried it in the Micronesian challenge. And it is our daily practice of every fishing community and in all our home islands. Ocean stewardship is in our DNA and it is our legacy. And that is what we pass on to the next generation. And that is exactly why our subregion belongs at the center of the Unlocking Blue Pacific Prosperity. The regional initiative of advancing 100% effective, sustainable ocean management, resilient food systems, and fit-for-purpose financing. The UPP is not someone else's program. That we are being invited to join. It is a Pacific-level initiative in an area where Micronesia already leads. And I want us to bring a coordinated MIF position on ocean priorities into the PIF leaders meeting in Pwuhng, so that leadership is reflected in how the UPP is shaped, not just how it is implemented. You know, it was in Cook Islands that we, as Pacific leaders, got together and declared, you know, that we would bring the UPP forward. And I still remember when I first met with the Bezos Foundation back at COP in 2021. And they committed $100 million, but we still have a long ways to go. But this year, we were able to realize the first round of funding to be implemented. And we need our partners around the world to understand the importance of the UPP program and why they must invest. Let me also raise two other priorities, because they are really just one argument. Whether our islands can move people or goods, or whether we can power ourselves reliably. And I think one of the things that we realize is the crisis in Iran has highlighted that more. So there really is the foundation on which every ambition this week depends. Better inter-island and interstate transportation is not a project alongside our economic goals. It is a precondition for achieving them, whether in tourism, trade, or access to health and education. Some of our governments and jurisdictions have set renewable energy targets. At PIF, we have this anticipation that we will have a 100% renewable Pacific. But as Micronesia, we do not have a shared Micronesian ambition comparable to our common commitments on ocean stewardship and climate resilience. And you can't talk about climate resilience without talking about energy transition. And I asked the proposed Tourism, Trade, and Transportation Committee and the Regional Energy Committee to bring us practical work plans, not further studies, so that this becomes infrastructure we're able on building together, not simply two more items on the list. There are three other areas where our shared agenda should also be strengthened to be more deliberate and more coordinated. Illegal, unreported, and unregulated fishing, IUU, remains a direct threat to the ocean resources we have just discussed protecting. Our enforcement capacity is stronger together than any one of us can build alone. Transnational crime and drug trafficking. This continues to be a growing challenge for our sub-region. Moving across the same waters, through the same ports, regardless of which flag flies over them, this is a shared threat to our people and our children's future. It requires a shared response. Climate resilience. This remains the defining long-term test of our region. Our people need more than recognition of our vulnerability. We need real access to climate finance, to adaptation funding, and to the mechanisms being built at the regional level so that the smallest among us are never left behind because of size or capacity. Leaders, what makes this forum this year different is not only what we decide here, it is what we carry with us out of this room. At the end of next week, we look forward to welcoming every one of you to Palau, for the Forum Leaders Meeting, where the work we do together this week, the unity, the priorities, and the discipline behind them, will carry forward into the wider Pacific conversation. Micronesia does not need to arrive in Palau asking to be heard. We arrive having already done the work of speaking with one voice. And that is the strongest gift we can bring to the Pacific family. And it is the standard that I hope this forum sets for this week and the work ahead. Sulang, and I look forward to our discussions.
Thank you very much, Your Excellency President, for that remark, and I am sure the Secretariat interim is taking note. We will try our best to tackle those issues that very crucial critical issues for us. I made a mistake, and I beg your indulgence before I recognize you, Madam Excellency. There was supposed to be part of my remarks that should have served as an introduction, but because I was a little nervous, I was so excited, I went ahead. So please, I beg your indulgence. I would like to invite a young Micronesian lady that grew up in the United States, but her heart is still with the islands here. She will, let us allow her to do a short presentation. I think her presentation is very connected to our remarks. So may I invite Ms. Jillian, where are you? Here in the crowd.
Kasiria, Lenin, Murikin, Lenwo, Ekamoromo, Yakwe, Ali, Tiro, and Pahrek, esteemed leaders of Micronesia. It is my deepest honor and privilege to share space with you today at this year's Micronesian Islands Forum. My name is Jillian Duenas, and I have traveled to be here from the Apupua of Makaha on the island of Oahu. I am the granddaughter of Benjamin Jr. Felotnia Duenas and Juliana Again Matimani, hailing from the beautiful villages of Inalahan and Tamuing on the island of Pwuhng. As a Chamorro woman, my art practice centers and is grounded in themes of indigeneity, matriarchy, healing, and resistance. I strive to steward the creative legacy that I inherit from my ancestors, as our peoples have been visual artists and storytellers, navigators, farmers, fishermen, and innovators since time immemorial. While colonial legacies have disrupted our connections to our traditional ways and to each other, art is a way that we can come back to ourselves and to our ancestors, honoring the lives that they lived so that we might live today. In addition to my art practice, I also have a background in clinical social work where I worked primarily in mental health and medical case management. I am a very firm believer that art is one of the most potent forms of medicine that is available to us, especially as Indigenous peoples healing from, resisting, and surviving colonization. I myself would not be here today without art, as it has saved my life and saves the lives of many every day. These first two artworks that I share with you were informed by climate activism community research that I conducted as a Pacific Island Studies master's student at UH Manoa. I interviewed 11 Pacific Islander residents of Hawaii with ancestry to the Mariana Islands, the Marshall Islands, Palau, Aotearoa, Samoa, Tahiti, La'atea, and Hawaii. All 11 participants emphasized the importance of community work days, opportunities to care for land and ocean, and restoration of traditional Indigenous practices in combating the climate crisis. The first piece I created for this body of work is titled A Climate Just Future. I asked participants to imagine what climate justice will look like in Hawaii and the Pacific, and this piece was born from their responses. Caring for the land, kinship with non-human relatives, relationships between elders and young people, Indigenous women and gender justice, thriving coral reefs, ancestral navigation, traditional fishing and farming practices, and genealogical connections between Hawaii and islands across the Pacific were all elements that community members emphasize as vital to seeing a climate-just future into reality. The second piece is called We Rise with the Seeds. The community members I interviewed expressed that climate justice is inextricably linked to nuclear justice, demilitarization, youth justice, and gender justice. I included bird species that are native to Hawaii, Pwuhng, Palau, Aotearoa, and other islands to symbolize liberation. Especially for islands resisting ongoing colonization, a lot of these native birds are either extinct in the wild or critically endangered due to the environmental harm of colonization and military activities. I also included a nuclear weapon, container of jet fuel, and a coconut rhinoceros beetle, symbols of nuclear testing, militarization, occupation, and their resulting environmental harm. The Pacific Islander girl stands on top of these motifs, positioning herself above the rising sea levels, pointing towards our people's resistance and reclamation of our futures. This piece asserts that despite the trauma of colonization, climate disasters, and nuclear testing, Indigenous lives persist and are interconnected. This last piece is a community mural project that I facilitated with 7th grade students at Kamaile Academy Public Charter School in Waianae on Oahu. The students expressed feelings of anxiety and hopelessness during conversations about the changing climate. This gave me the idea to work on a climate resilience mural with the students, where we could work through these feelings and amplify their stories and dreams for the future. To begin our project, we went over what the students already knew about climate change. Many students talked about rising sea levels as their primary concern, and reported that climate actions they take include throwing away rubbish and using reef-safe sunscreen. After our discussion, we brainstormed a design for the mural. The students wanted one side of the canvas to show issues they want to address, such as trash, coral bleaching, overfishing, and rising sea levels, and the other side to show the future that they want to see. The students wanted a boy blowing the conch as a call to action to address the issues they identified, and the boy is depicted to represent the Chuki students that were in the class. The students talked about different cultural practices they wanted to bring into the future, so we also included a Wahine dancing hula, as well as a Marshallese stick chart. On the day side of the mural, they asked for fluid water with bleached corals, On the night side of the mural, they asked for a healthy ocean with vibrant corals, fishes, and turtles. They also wanted to include navigation and paddling in their future, as these are cultural practices that many of the students themselves engage in. I asked the students if they wanted the mural to have any words, and they suggested the Ololono'eo, or Hawaiian proverb, "Ikawama mua, kawama Pohnpei," which can be translated to, "We look to the past as a guide to the future." After the project was completed, we had a discussion to debrief the experience, where the students shared that the project made them feel happy, hopeful, involved, and relieved. One student said that, quote, "It felt like I put my whole mana into one artwork," end quote. And another reported, "To me, it felt like a new beginning of life." This project is an example of art as a kind of education space, art as a medicine for instilling hope in young people, and art as a tool to bring different communities together in envisioning and creating a better future. As this project demonstrates, our young people need access and visibility in their art and storytelling because we have so much to learn from them and their dreams. As the emerging stewards of our lands and ocean, our youth have the highest stakes in the climate crisis. In just the past several months alone, cyclones Baianu and Mila hit Fiji, the Solomon Islands, Vanuatu, Aotearoa, and Papua New Guinea. Hawaii was devastated by several Kona low storms, and just days ago, Category 1 Hurricane Lala hit the Hawaiian Islands. Super typhoons in Laku tore through Chuk, Pwuhng, Nuta, Tani'a, and Saipan. Following typhoons in Laku, Typhoon Bobby again pummeled the Marianas, which called for the postponement of this very forum. Our people will be recovering from these events for years to come, and that's in addition to future climate change events. The climate crisis is only intensifying, and our children know that our capacity to dream must meet, if not exceed, this intensity if future generations are to live and thrive along after us. Our children know that the answers are found in our ancestral knowledges and stories. The creation of Pacifica art is an ancestral legacy that we all inherit and steward, allowing us to visualize the past, present, and future that we can create. We cannot build a climate-just and empowered future if we do not first envision it. By stewarding our creative legacies, we take care of ourselves and each other mentally, emotionally, and spiritually, and create spaces for us to learn with and from one another. I owe all the work that I'm able to do to my ancestors, to my community, and to all of you creating a space for me to share here today. I am one person and cannot do this work without all of you. We need each other. We are co-conspirators, co-creatives, and most importantly, we are kin. As Indigenous peoples, our art gives our dreams their first place to live, and it is our collective responsibility to give these dreams life alongside us in the present for a climate-just future. I look forward to creating an empowered climate-just future with all of you. Undang Punasidu Sansana Maasi, and thank you.
Thank you, Jillian, for that inspiring and informative presentation. I am sure the leaders around the table will be reminded a critical part of our responsibility as leaders is to make a better future for our children. So at this time, I respectfully would like to recognize Her Excellency President Heine to deliver the address.
Chair. Thank you very much. Your Excellency Surangal Groups Jr., Your Excellency Vice President Aaron Pahrek, Honorable Governors and leaders of our Micronesian jurisdictions, esteemed traditional and customary leaders of Pohnpei, Excellencies, distinguished delegates, First Ladies, fellow Micronesian brothers and sisters, ladies and gentlemen, Yahweh once again and warm greetings from the people and government of the Republic of the Marshall Islands. It is a great honor to join you here in this beautiful garden island of Pohnpei and to gather once again as one Micronesian family. At the outset, I wish to acknowledge with deepest respect the traditional leaders and people of Pohnpei, past, present, and emerging, upon whose ancestral lands we are privileged to gather. I also extend my sincere appreciation to President Simina and the national government of FSM, as well as Governor Joseph and the people of Pohnpei for the warm welcome and generous hospitality extended to me and to the entire Marshall Island delegation since our arrival. Excellencies, our presence together here in Pohnpei reflects the strength of our relationships and our shared commitment to advancing the interest and well-being of the people of our region. It is a distinct privilege to recall the successful Micronesian Island Forum we were honored to host last year in Manjaro, and the momentum we built there as partners. I'm heartened to see that same spirit of cooperation thriving as we convene here in Pohnpei under this year's inspiring theme, promote healthy communities, open doors to learning. Across Micronesia, our communities navigate many of the same challenges in health and education systems, environmental stewardship, and political dynamics and economic stability. Yet we're bound by a unique kinship that allow us to walk hand in hand to share in collective solutions, to seize new opportunities, and to build a brighter future for generations who will follow us. Our strong nations, of course, begin with healthy people. Healthy communities must therefore remain at the heart of our development. We're grateful for the theme for this conference this year. Our health is, of course, inextricably linked, and by pooling our legal resources and expertise, we can strengthen our collective capacity and better strengthen the well-being of all Micronesian citizens. Likewise, in education, the second part of the theme, opening doors to learning, a strong and resilient future begins with informed, empowered, and confident young people. Research has shown that education brings about the greatest return on investment for a nation's development. It opens doors to opportunity, strengthens our economies, and empowers our youth, and gives our communities the knowledge and skills they need to navigate a rapidly changing world. I fully endorse Governor Joseph's focus on trade and skills training and development for our people. I think this is an area we need to pool our resources together. It's quite expensive to conduct trades training. And I think the opportunity that we began a long time ago with Palau Community College Micronesian Applicational Center to train skilled tradespeople in the region needs to be revived and moved forward to train people. So thank you for promoting that government. We must ensure that our young people, whether they live in our capital cities, on other islands, or abroad, have meaningful opportunities to learn and succeed. We must also address capacity and knowledge transfer gaps to build a stronger workforce. Again, going back to vocational training, by harmonizing our vocational training, digital literacy programs, science and technology, entrepreneurship, and lifelong learning, we can create a shared Micronesian talent pool. Let us commit to building cross-border educational pathways that allow our young people to learn from one another, ensuring that knowledge flows as freely as the ocean that connects us. This is where the Micronesian Island Forum has an important role to play. On that note, I'm honored to announce that the Marshall Islands will host the third Conference of Pacific Education Ministers, C10, meeting in April 2027. This will be a particularly significant C10 for our sub-region, being the first convening of the Pacific Education Ministers meeting in Micronesia. We therefore hope to approach this not simply as an RMI event, but as an opportunity for collective Micronesian hosting and leadership in ensuring Micronesian experiences and priorities have a strong voice in the wider Pacific education agenda. Let us aim to ensure CPEM 2027 moves beyond discussion toward practical, content-driven action with stronger support for teachers and school leaders, early education, early childhood education, inclusive education, culturally grounded learning, climate resilience, digital transformation, and pathways for our young people. On the issue of climate and environment, as we pursue our shared development goals, our islands continue to bear the disproportionate impacts of climate change. Rising seas, changing weather patterns, and environmental degradation threaten our food and water security, infrastructure, and the well-being of our people. We must remain steadfast in defending the 1.5-degree limit and advocating or advancing the transition away from fossil fuels, particularly by major emitters. And I want to, at this point, endorse President Whip's 100% renewable energy goal for Micronesia. I think we need to set some target dates and move towards achieving that. Thank you, President. With our schools and hospitals already at risk from sea level rise, climate action must be integrated into our health and education priorities. In the Marshall Islands, our National Adaptation Plan provides a clear roadmap for strengthening resilience across these critical areas. We should also strengthen our collective purchasing power by expanding regional cooperation in areas where it can deliver benefits for our people. By exploring regional bulk purchasing of medicine and medical supplies, we can improve the sustainability of our health systems. The same approach can be applied to fuel procurement and storage. Micronesian leaders committed in the Micronesian Island Forum in 2024 to develop a regional energy security plan and explore regional bulk fuel procurement. Despite clear vulnerabilities, progress on bulk procurement has stalled. The 2026 Pacific fuel crisis has now underscored the urgency of coordinated regional action. With the region again facing severe price shocks and supply uncertainty, this is an opportune time to revisit the bulk procurement discussion and move it forward. As our economies remain heavily dependent on imported fuel and vulnerable to global price volatility, it is important that we start exploring this notion of bulk fuel procurement and storage initiative to aggregate demand, strengthen our purchasing power, improve pricing, enhance supply reliability, and reduce transportation costs. And as we transition away from fossil fuels, we can take the same approach with renewable energy infrastructure to reduce costs and dependence on fossil fuels. Regional cooperation must also continue to address air connectivity, which remains a critical lifeline for our people, economies, health services, education, and trade. We must keep this issue firmly on the Micronesian agenda and elevate it to the political level. I encourage us to task our relevant ministers and officials to continue exploring practical options to more reliable, affordable, and sustainable air services. Our countries have much to learn from each other. We can share experiences, strengthen partnerships, develop regional solutions, and create opportunities that no single island nation could achieve alone. Our shared challenges should encourage us to deepen our cooperation, not retreat into isolation. At the Forum Economic Ministers meeting held in Majuro this year, RNI was proud to showcase our USDN1 initiative, the world's first sovereign digital bond issued by the Marshall Islands. This initiative will enhance financial inclusion in even our most remote atolls, address the withdrawal of cash and banking services, and support public services, including emergency and disaster response. There is more detailed info to share on this later on in the agenda. Chair, before I end my deliberation, I wish to take this opportunity to personally commend you for continuing to open the doors for the Micronesian Island Forum to our young people, Last year, the Marshall Islands welcomed youth representatives as observers to the MIF for the first time. And I'm pleased to see that this initiative is being carried forward and strengthened this year through the host invitation for youth to participate. Our nice delegation consists of 2 youth representatives, and we thank you, Chair, for this valuable opportunity for our young people to contribute to these important discussions. Their presence reminds us that the future of Micronesia belongs to our young people, and that we must create meaningful spaces for them to learn, participate, lead, and contribute to decisions that will shape their future. Thank you, Chair, for helping us build a more inclusive Micronesian Island Forum.
Kadkadaur, Your Excellency, President Jaime, for your remarks and affirmation of the theme and mention of the importance of youth. Likewise, I would like to also remind the youth that it is incumbent upon you to engage with us leaders and not wait. Take the initiative and we will talk. So at this time, I would like to recognize Honorable Vice President Pahrek to deliver his remarks on behalf of President Sim.
Kailangan, and thank you, Chairman Joseph. Excellencies, Honorable Governors, members of the Diplomatic Corps, thank you for joining us. Distinguished guests, youth, ladies and gentlemen, Presidencia and Camarade. First, I would like to express my sincere gratitude to Almighty God for allowing us to convene this 28th Micronesia Island Forum. I would also like to extend my utmost respect to the traditional leaders of Pohnpei for the land upon which we gather. The government and the people of Pohnpei State, Governor Joseph, thank you for your support and contribution to the success of this MIF. Mr. Chair, I extend my congratulations to you on assuming the chairmanship of the 28th Micronesia Islands Forum and for hosting this significant event. I commend you and your staff for the exceptional organization of this meeting, including the wonderful dinner we had last night. Thank you, that was very delicious, good dinner. Under your leadership, I have full confidence that our region will make significant progress, and I genuinely wish you every success. And thank you, President Jaime, for your leadership as the outgoing chairperson of MIF. Mr. Chair, for decades, our tourism sector has relied heavily on a single vital lifeline for our tourism, the East-West Aviation Corridor. United Airlines Island Upper has long been our bridge to the world, and we remain grateful for it. But let us be frank with one another. Relying on a single access keeps our economies vulnerable, our people isolated, and our travel costs among the highest in the world. If we truly want to unlock the economic potentials of our islands, we must think beyond the traditional corridors. The newly updated FSM National Tourism Policy sets a bold vision for a high-yield, sustainable tourism. But to realize the access to this across Micronesia, we must collectively open a new frontier, the north-south connectivity. When we talk about opening these routes, let us remember exactly what we are offering to the world. The FSM owns treasures that cannot be replicated anywhere else on Earth. We are not a place of mass tourism. We are a destination of profound world-class wonder. On the trade and investment front, FSM is making steady strides. We are committed to creating an enabling environment for private sector players to develop, expand, and thrive within and beyond our shores, to deepen economic integration among Micronesian islands through trade and investment, with the view to bring sustainable prosperity to our people. We believe that we are stronger and more resilient together. So in this regard, Mr. Chair, we seek to strengthen our economic ties through more peer learning opportunities among Micronesian islands. Mr. Chair, the ocean, as stated by President Whips, is a vital source of our livelihood and what connects us as a region. It faces significant threats and remains a priority for the FSM. Since the last MIF, the FSM has proactively engaged in state leaderships to advance our nation's marine spatial planning efforts and important steps towards safeguarding the health of our nation and the communities who depend on it. Additionally, the FSM is partnering with GIZ and 5 co-lead nations to develop the first ever area-based management tool and marine protected area proposals for submission under the PBNJ framework. This initiative aims to turn our commitment of conserving 30% of our ocean into building proposals that protect marine areas beyond any national jurisdiction. However, we acknowledge that FSM's individual efforts alone are insufficient to mitigate the escalating threats by the ocean. Our collective actions and unified voice represents our greatest strength for ensuring the health and resilience of our shared ocean and the blue Pacific. On invasive alien species, IEAS, it remains the primary factor driving the decline of biodiversity, contributing to approximately 60% of global extinction. We know that it is not a local issue. It affects our ecosystem stability, food security, and health as a region. In line with the FSM's commitment to safeguarding its unique yet fragile biodiversity from the threats of invasive species, the FSM has successfully upgraded all biodiversity and biosecurity port facilities and provided state field offices with critical biosecurity tools and equipment to bolster their abilities in addressing and managing invasive alien species. Furthermore, I would like to acknowledge the partnership of the U.S. Geological Survey, and the College of Micronesia, FSM, for their effort in strengthening our national technical capacity to prevent the introduction, establishment, and spread of invasive alien species, thereby protecting the natural resources and biodiversity essential for the well-being, livelihood, and future of our people. Mr. Chairman, I want to talk a little bit about energy. Energy remains a priority for the FSM and for our region. The recent fuel crisis was a stark reminder of our continued vulnerability to external shocks and the urgent need to strengthen our energy security. It also reinforces the importance of accelerating the transition to renewable energy across our islands, investing in resilient energy infrastructure, and deepening regional, sub-regional cooperation. By working together, including through initiatives such as bulk fuel procurement, shared technical expertise, and coordinated investment, we can reduce costs, enhance energy resilience, and strengthen our collective self-reliance. We must remember that energy is not an isolated sector. It is the foundation of sustainable development. Reliable, affordable, and clean energy improves healthcare, strengthens education, support economic opportunity, enhances food and water security, and build resilience to the impact of climate change. By prioritizing investment in sustainable energy today, we are investing in the long-term prosperity and well-being of our people and future generations. The FSM stands ready to work closely with you and our development partners to advance practical, regionally driven solutions that deliver lasting benefits for all our islands. Mr. Chair, climate change is a high priority for the FSM. The science is clear. Climate change is adversely impacting access to food security and water security. As a result, health security and economic security are compromised. In the last decade, from 2016 to 2026, global economic losses, specifically from typhoons or Northwest Pacific tropical cyclones, have totaled over $150 billion. This trend will continue to accelerate as variable and extreme climate events and associated risks from global warming triggered by GHG emissions continue to rise. The recent typhoons, Sinlaka and Pwuhng, have demonstrated the magnitude of damage that our islands are hit with and the slow and costly recovery efforts. As we speak, our nation is already strategizing and preparing for El Niño. It seems as we just recovered from one calamity to another, and another one arises. Hence, we need to continue to strengthen our resilience. This year will be the 31st session of the UNFCCC Conference of Parties, it's COP31. Over the past 30 decades, progress at these COPs have been gradual and limited. but this has not deterred our commitment for 1.5 degrees Celsius to stay alive. Both at the COP and in various international, regional, and national forums, as well as on the global stage. While our efforts have heightened awareness on climate change and created opportunities for technical assistance and financial support, funding remains a significant concern. FSM's NCT 3.0 is more ambitious than ever, and we aim for 70% renewable energy by 2030 and 80% by 2035. This transition will effectively decrease our GHG emissions and allow us to reach net zero by 2050. Along with this, we must continue to raise our united voice above that of those countries that are continuing to accelerate and expand use of fossil fuel, resulting in increased GHG emissions and thus increased climate impact and risk to our lives and livelihood. Mr. Chair, we must work together to be loud and proactive rather than silent and reactive, as prevention is much more practical and economical than the cure. On regional health matters, it is imperative for us as a sub-region to enhance investment in our academic training institutions to prioritize the development of our own healthcare workforce. We must also continue to foster investment in human capital and the infrastructure of our health delivery systems, as many facilities have reached the end of their useful life. I urge our development partners to expand their support and assistance in this critical area. And I think we can spend many more hours talking about the effect of health and the effect of NCDs on our lives. And that's one of the challenges we have, as the Governor and Chairman has stated earlier. For gender equality, FSM remains committed to working with all MIF members to advance practical, culturally grounded, and inclusive solutions. We share our responsibility to ensure that every woman and girl in our capitals, villages, and outer islands can live free from violence, participate in decision-making, access economic opportunities, and contribute fully to our region's future. Mr. Chair, I commend the excellent work of our governments and partners in advancing gender equality and inclusion as key pillars of national development. While recognizing that much remains to be done, a few weeks ago, FSM convened the 2026 Micronesia Ministerial Women's Conference to share experience and discuss the gender-related challenges facing our region. And Mr. Chair, I would like to recommend that this body note and endorse the recently concluded MMWC Declaration entitled the Camarale Declaration. It is in our collective interest to embed the Declaration's priorities within the MIF architecture through the work of the Gender Equality Committee and the Micronesia Gender Equality Framework. Mr. Chairman, skills development is more than an educational priority. It is a cornerstone of our collective future. Across the Micronesia Islands, the pathway to job creation, national building, and sustainable economic growth rests on our ability to equip our people with the skills they need to thrive in a rapidly changing world. Critical to the success of this mission are the quality of our teachers, the strength of our infrastructure, the relevance of our curricula, and the availability of instructional equipment and materials. Each of these requires collaborative investment. Without them, our aspirations for a resilient and self-reliant region remains incomplete. FSM has made a significant advancement towards realizing its ambitions through the recent international accreditation of the FSM Skills Testing and Certification Unit. This certification demonstrates that an individual has acquired the knowledge, technical skills, professional standards, and workplace competencies required by employers. Additionally, regional cooperation can help align qualifications, recognize potentials across borders, and expand opportunities for young people and workers. Mr. Chairman, I would like to conclude by encouraging all of us to engage in our discussions with openness, collaboration, and eagerness to seek consensus in order to improve our capacity to provide better and more effective outcomes for our citizens. I look forward to receiving the report from the Secretariat, updates from the committees on progress and achievements, and our discussions to ensure we strive to create a thriving and prosperous region for ourselves and our future generations. Thank you.
Very much, Honorable Vice President Pahrek, for your remarks, reiterating points made by President Wilson, President Heine, and some other critical issues, matters that we all commonly share, and affirming the direction that I think we can express. The days of working in silos and treating issues in silos is no longer applicable in this. We must treat it, and everything is connected. So thank you very much for that affirmation. And now I would like to call on Special Envoy from the Republic of Nauru, Honorable Leona Waitabu, to speak on behalf of President.
Good morning. His Excellency the President of the FSM, Honorable Governor of Pohnpei State, Excellencies and fellow representatives of the government and people of Micronesia, distinguished delegates, ladies and gentlemen, Kasalelia. It is my honor to address this 28th Micronesian Islands Forum on behalf of His Excellency the President, the government and the people of the Republic of Nauru. His Excellency the President conveys his sincere apologies for being unable to attend this important meeting in person due to the sitting of Parliament in Nauru, which requires his presence. He sends his warmest greetings to all leaders, delegates, and participants, and wishes the 28th Micronesian Island Forum a highly and successful, productive meeting. At the outset, I extend a sincere appreciation to the governments and people of FSM and Pohnpei State for the warm welcome and generous hospitality extended to us. Nauru is pleased to join our Micronesian family under the timely theme, Promote Healthy Communities, Open Doors to Learning. This forum reminds us that although our islands are separated by a vast ocean, we are united by our history, cultures, shared challenges, and common aspirations. Our geography should not divide us. Rather, it should encourage us to build stronger connections and find practical ways of working together. One of the most important foundations of regional cooperation is reliable air connectivity. Aviation is not simply a transport service for our island nation. It is an essential lifeline. It connects our people with the families, with the education, employment, healthcare, trade, tourism, and government services. It also allows our leaders, officials, and communities to maintain the relationships upon which regional cooperation depends. At present, travel between many Micronesian countries remains difficult, costly, and unreliable due to limited aviation services and connections. Our people sometimes require to travel far outside the region before reaching another Micronesian island that is relatively close to their own. Nauru Airlines stands ready and is more than willing to support stronger air connectivity across Micronesia and to play a leading role in improving travel between our countries. However, Nauru Airlines cannot achieve this alone. Sustainable regional air connectivity requires the commitment and support of all Micronesian governments. We must work together on route development, traffic rights, airport access, operational arrangements, and initiatives to strengthen passenger and cargo demand, as well as other measures necessary to ensure reliable and commercially sustainable regional services. With support from the Australian government, Nauru Airlines previously operated services as far as Palau. However, these services ceased due to funding constraints, and the airline currently operates as far as Majuro. We recently signed a Memorandum of Understanding with the Federated States of Micronesia and expect to commence service to FSM by November this year. This represents an important step towards restoring and strengthening air connectivity throughout Micronesia. Nauru Airlines has also recently held discussion with One Pacific Airways to explore practical areas of cooperation. Such cooperation could further strengthen air connectivity across Micronesia and the wider Pacific, support economic growth, and better connect our island communities. Nauru therefore invites the members of this forum to work with us on a practical regional aviation framework. Together we should identify priority routes and agree on the actions required from each government. Our objective must be clear: easier, more reliable, and more affordable travel between the nations and territories of Micronesia. Maritime connectivity is equally important. Shipping supports food security, commerce, construction, disaster preparedness, and the movement of essential goods between our islands. Nauru wishes to strengthen shipping links with our Micronesian neighbors and is interested in joining the Micronesian Shipping Commission. Nauru has 2 vessels and is willing to explore how these vessels may contribute to services between our nations. Our growing cooperation with Kiribati represents an important milestone in the enduring friendship between our 2 countries. By strengthening maritime connectivity, the Brisbane, Tuva, Punaputi, Tarawa, Nauru route, we have access to essential goods, supporting trade, employment, and helping to ease cost of living pressures for our communities. This partnership demonstrates what small island nations nations can achieve by working together to build reliable, affordable, and resilient regional shipping services. We recognize that successful required coordinated schedules, sufficient cargo volumes, suitable port arrangements, and fair cost sharing. We therefore propose working with interested members to examine viable routes and develop a practical model for cooperation. Our discussions must lead to tangible outcomes. We should lead this forum with agreed responsibilities, realistic timelines, and a mechanism for measuring progress. NAUDO is ready to participate actively in this work. The theme of this forum also places health and community well-being at the center of our deliberations. Like many Pacific nations, NAUDO faces serious public health challenges, particularly non-communicable diseases associated with physical inactivity and lifestyle. Our government is responding by promoting health, sport, and physical activity as part of everyday life. The government has engaged external professional support to help manage and strengthen hospital services. At the same time, we are increasing our focus on public health, prevention, and healthier communities. We are encouraging our people to exercise, walk, and cycle more regularly. As part of this effort, the government organizes a public service walk every Friday, with public servants required to participate. This initiative is intended not only to improve physical health, but also to build teamwork, strengthen morale, and demonstrate that healthy living must begin with leadership by example. We are pleased to share experience and to learn from the health forum members. We believe that successful health policies must reach out beyond hospitals and clinics. They must involve schools, workplaces, sporting organizations, churches, families, and communities. Health and education are closely connected. Healthy children are better able to learn, and educated communities are better equipped to make informed decisions about nutrition, exercise, and well-being. By opening doors to learning, we also open doors to a healthier and more resilient societies. Culture and sport are also vital to the well-being, identity, and unity of our communities. The Micronesian Music Festival and the Miss Micronesian pageant celebrate the enduring cultural bonds that unite our island nations. By bringing together our artists, young leaders, and communities, these events allow us to share traditions, strengthen regional friendships, and inspire future generations. In the same spirit of unity, I warmly invite all Micronesian countries to participate in the Miss Micronesia in Kiribati. NAUDO also invites you to participate in the Micronesian Games, which NAUDO will proudly host in 2028. Together through culture and sport, we will honor our shared legacy and chart a stronger future for our region. Excellencies and distinguished delegates, the challenges confronting Micronesia, from limited connectivity and public health pressures to climate change, resource conservation, and maritime security, cannot be solved by any one nation acting alone. Our strength lies in regional solidarity and practical cooperation. NAUDO comes to this forum ready to listen, ready to contribute, and ready to work with every member. We look forward particularly to developing stronger aviation services, improving regional shipping connections, promoting cultural and sporting exchanges, and sharing practical approaches to healthier communities. Let us transform our discussions into commitments, our commitments into actions, and our actions into tangible improvements in the lives of our people. On behalf of His Excellency the President, the government and the people of the Republic of Nauru, I reaffirm our friendship and solidarity with the entire Micronesian family. May this forum strengthen the bonds among our nations, guide us towards a healthier, better connected, and more prosperous Micronesian region. Kalangan, thank you. God bless Micronesia.
Thank you, Honorable Leona Waitabu, for your remarks, and I know your emphasis on air connectivity and shipping. And I am pleased to learn that efforts in reinstating the service of your airline down to Pohnpei to Palau is still in the works. And Pohnpei will try its best to respond. And appreciate the affirmation of the common issues that we all share and ways forward. I wish now to call on representative of Governor Lucarero of Pwuhng, Ms. Ricky Ray Orsini, to deliver remarks.
President Jaime, Governor Joseph, distinguished presidents, governors, leaders, delegates, and friends from across our Micronesian region. Hafide, Kasalelia, and good morning. It is an honor to join you here in Pohnpei for the 28th Micronesian Islands Forum. I am here on behalf of Governor Lilian Guerrero, who sends her warmest regards and sincere regrets that she could not be here today with the friends, colleagues, and partners who have worked alongside her toward a stronger, more prosperous, and more peaceful Micronesia. This gathering is particularly meaningful because it would have been her final Micronesian Islands Forum as Governor of Pwuhng. As her time in office draws to a close, she asked me to express her gratitude for the years of partnership, candor, and friendship she has shared with the leaders of this forum. The conversations around this table have not always been easy, but they have always been grounded in a shared commitment to our people and the future of Micronesia. President Jaime, on behalf of Governor Leon Guerrero and the people of Pwuhng, thank you for your leadership as chair and for your steadfast commitment to regional cooperation. As the chairmanship passes to Governor Joseph, we congratulate him and the beautiful people of Pohnpei who have so graciously welcomed us here. Governor, we look forward to working with you as you lead this forum into its next chapter. And there is important work ahead. At a time when global attention on our region is increasing, it is more important than ever that Micronesians define our own priorities and speak with our own voice. Our political relationships may differ, but the challenges before us do not stop at jurisdictional boundaries. Economic security, transportation, healthcare, climate resilience, food security, conservation, and regional security affect us all. Many of them cannot be addressed by any one of us alone. And this is the work of this forum. And we have heard around this table, transportation remains one of our greatest shared challenges. For islands separated by thousands of miles of ocean, connectivity is not a luxury. It is essential to our prosperity, our resilience, and our ability to support one another. Pwuhng continues to advocate for greater air connectivity, including relief from federal restrictions that limit our ability to attract additional international air service. Better connections between our islands can help strengthen our food systems, create opportunities for our businesses to grow together, and make it easier to move people, goods, and expertise where they are needed. Greater connectivity advances something larger: greater regional self-reliance. The COVID-19 pandemic brought into focus just how much the health and welfare of our people depend on the relationships in this very room. We are seafaring people. We know that when a storm comes, we look to the closest ports. Here in Micronesia, that means looking to one another, rather than simply waiting at the end of a very long supply chain. None of our islands can have every resource or capability we might need when the next crisis comes, but each of us has something to offer the others. During the pandemic, Guam had the privilege of serving as one of those ports. We tested samples for our neighbors, helped people quarantine and safely return home, and shared medicines, treatments, and protective equipment when they were needed. We intend to build on that experience. We should continue exploring ways to share healthcare and emergency personnel when one of our islands needs help. Guam also continues to advance plans for a new medical campus, not simply to replace an aging hospital, but to strengthen healthcare capacity for our people and our region. That vision includes a dedicated veterans clinic co-located at the new medical campus. Guam is pursuing funding for the clinic, which could expand access to care for veterans throughout our region. In our discussions today with the U.S. Department of Veterans Affairs, we heard their concern about underserved veterans in Guam and the freely associated states, including the lack of reliable data to fully understand the number of veterans in our islands and the services they need. We share in that concern. We all recognize the challenges veterans face when they live far from the services intended to support them. We are also advocating for claims processing capacity in Guam so that veterans in our region can get help navigating the VA benefits process rather than simply giving up on the benefits they had earned. And our Pacific veterans should not have to cross an ocean simply to receive the services they need. Why shouldn't they receive care here, surrounded by the families and communities that support them? That too is part of what regional healthcare should mean. None of us can build every capability alone, but if we build together as a regional community, the next time we need a port in the storm, we can turn to each other. That same commitment to one another extends to the lands and waters we share. In other places shaped by other histories, a rising tide is a metaphor for prosperity. Here in Micronesia, where our history is shaped by our relationship to the ocean, we know that a rising tide can signal danger. Forces that generate prosperity elsewhere often impose outsized costs to our islands, and the rising tides that symbolize abundance for others threaten to swallow our lands. For us, prosperity must mean something different. It must mean progress in balance with preservation, growth that allows our people to live with dignity without asking our children to surrender the lands, waters, and ways of life they will inherit from us. The Micronesia Challenge grew from that understanding. 20 years ago, the leaders of our region made a shared commitment to conserve the lands and waters that sustain our cultures, our livelihoods, and our communities. It was groundbreaking. But at the heart of it was something so simple and so fundamental. Protecting Micronesia requires Micronesians to work together. Guam remains committed to that work and to sustainable conservation financing. And as the world turns its attention toward our region, our ocean and its resources, that commitment becomes even more important. Others may look at our islands and the ocean surrounding us and see strategic location and natural resources. But our home cannot be reduced to a balance sheet. It is more than an itemized list of what others consider valuable. Sometimes the machinery of outside interest is so loud that it drowns out the voices of the people who live here. When others can't or won't hear us, we must listen to each other. And listening matters most when we disagree. We will not always arrive at the same answer, but we should share information, answer each other's questions, and approach our differences patiently and thoughtfully. Whatever positions we ultimately take, we cannot be observers of our own ocean. For Guam, deep seabed mining is one of those difficult questions. Governor Leon Guerrero's position is clear. We need more science, we need more data, and until we have them, we need to pause. We do not oppose innovation or economic development. Every island represented here must balance the needs of its people today with the future it hopes to build. But when the consequences may be irreversible, and when the resource at issue is so central to our way of life and our identity as an ocean people, the stakes are too high to be hasty. And at this moment, we simply do not know enough. 3 fundamental questions must be answered. First, what does the science tell us? Before activities that could permanently alter deep ocean ecosystems move forward, we must understand the consequences. And the science we rely upon must be sufficient, independent, and accessible to the communities that will live with those consequences. Second, who has a seat at the table and whose voices shape the decisions? Surely we can all agree that the people who live with the consequences deserve a meaningful role in those decisions that will affect them. Engagement cannot be performative, a box on a checklist, so others can say they asked us. Our positions must be heard and meaningfully considered. Third, who benefits? Without question, our communities will bear risks that others will not. But will we receive a comparable share of the benefits? These questions are reasonable. We deserve answers while our voices can still shape the outcome before decisions are made to alter our ocean in ways we cannot reverse. We live here, our children live here, and God willing, our great-grandchildren will live here. We owe them the time to get this right. Guam therefore asks this forum to support those of us who seek a pause on deep seabed mining because we need more time, more independent science and data, and more meaningful engagement before moving forward. All of this brings us back to why regional institutions like this forum matter. They help us to recognize the challenges we share, identify resources closer to home, and pool the knowledge and strategies each of us has developed. And when we take our concerns beyond this region, they allow our individual voices to carry even farther. Whatever our political relationships may be, we remain part of this region. Governor Leon Guerrero has been unequivocal. The Pacific is our place in the world. We belong here, and we do not intend to relinquish our seat at this table. Our islands are not young. Our people have inhabited them and navigated these waters for thousands of years. We inherited them from those who came before us, and for our time, we are their stewards. We have different governments, different political statuses, and different economic realities. We will not always agree on the path forward, but ultimately, we belong to this region, and we belong to each other. We cannot know what the future holds. The world around us is changing quickly. New challenges will come, new opportunities will come, and new leaders will eventually take our places around this table. But in an uncertain world, we can be certain of each other. When we need a port in the storm, we can turn to each other. When others can't or won't hear us, we can listen to each other. And when the decisions before us are difficult, we can come back to this table and face them together as proud brothers and sisters of Micronesia. Sizos Maasi, Kalangin, thank you.
Thank you very much, Ms. Orsini, for your remarks. Once again, reiterating the common issues that we have and the need for us to work together. I am especially pleased to hear possible improvement in the healthcare for the provision of our veterans. Thank you. I seek your collective wisdom. Shall we pause maybe for a few minutes? You want to go use the restroom or get some refreshment? Or continue? Okay, why don't we take a quick break? No more than 5 minutes. If the servers can bring some refreshment in front of the principals, and or I don't know if you know where the bathrooms are. There are 4 bathrooms, upstairs and downstairs, north, west side and east side facing each other. Yeah, servers bring refreshments, please.
Oh my goodness!
This foreigner, right?
Yeah.
contestants, may I ask the principals to start making your way to your seat so we can proceed. And I respectfully ask that the principals make their way back to their seats so that we can proceed.
Change temperature is just too cool.
Liaison officers for RMI and Nauru, if you could lead your principals back to the seat so we can proceed. Thank you. So let's carry on. And it's my pleasure to invite Governor Naron of the State of Pwuhng to deliver his remarks.
Thank you, Chairman. You know, if this was a fish that we're reading right now, I'll end up eating the poems. Most of these issues has been said by previous speakers, and I thank them. The best. On a more serious note, Mr. Chairman, I join you in conveying our and appreciation to our Master of Ceremony, Mr. Peterson, Chef, for a job well done. Foremost, I give thanks to the Almighty for His grace, His blessings, and for bringing our Micronesian leadership together in safety and peace. To the paramount chiefs and traditional leaders of Pohnpei, Ian, Tiro, Faithful, we honor your authority and stewardship. We walk on your sacred land with humility and gratitude. To the Honorable Stevenson Joseph, Governor of Pohnpei State, and the 28 MIF Chair, the Lieutenant Governor, Erwin Movi, First Lady of Pohnpei, Dr. Aina, legislative and judicial branches, the municipal leadership, and to the people of Pohnpei, I extend our sincere kalangan for your exceptional hospitality in hosting this Micronesian Island Forum. Your Excellency Wesley W. Simina, President of the Federal States of Micronesia, and First Lady Angela Simina, in absentia by Tiro and Pedro Napalab. The Honorable Vice President Aaron Balik and Second Lady Atelita Balik, members of the FSM Congress, Your Excellency Soroniel Whips Jr., President of the Republic of Palau, Your Excellency President Hilda Aina, our 27 MIF Chair, Komultata for your decisive leadership in Major. Your Excellency President David Atayang of Nauru, represented by Special Envoy, the Honorable Rainier, the Honorable Leon, sorry. The Honorable Governor Lourdes Leon Guerrero of Pwuhng, represented by Director Ricky Ray Orsini. The Honorable Governor David Apatang of Sinamay, represented by Mr. Clement Joseph Fergus Jr. My colleagues and friends, the Honorable Governor Donenson Bali of Koshrai and First Lady of Koshrai, and the Honorable Governor Francis Itimay of Pwuhng. And of course, Tiro, Faithful Rabarab, Wanmatan Elinto Isnaron, First Lady of Pwuhng. Distinguished heads, members of delegations, MIF Secretariat, Diplomatic Corps, Development Partners, ladies and gentlemen. Raranin and Tiro, I thank the young students for reminding us that the future of Micronesia is in their voice. Can we please give them another level for our students? MIF leadership, 1 year ago in Major, we met under the theme, an opportune moment to act decisively and without hesitation. We adopted a joint communique and 5 resolutions. We affirmed that our ocean is our identity, our livelihood, and our sovereignty. Today in Pohnpei, we advance that work with a clear mandate: promote healthy communities, open doors to learning. These are not separate goals. They are the foundation of our survival and prosperity. First, promote healthy communities. A healthy community requires 3 things: healthy people, healthy environment, and a strong culture. We must confront NCDs, strengthen mental health services, and ensure clean water and a stable food security. We must protect our ocean and enforce our resource laws for our children to fish, farm, and thrive. In Juke, we are taking action. We increase our number of dispensaries, including a super dispensary in the Morlocks, thanks to the national government for their assistance. We implement a long-lost laws for our ocean resources and working on an increased minimum wage over the next 5 years. Just last month, we opened our new dialysis facility in Juke, bringing life-saving treatment closer to our people, so they no longer have to leave home and family to receive care. We are also advancing plans for a new hospital. And we continue to call for urgent regional action on the World War II oil spill in our lagoon. Over 6 million gallons that threaten our people. This is our own climate crisis that demands support and partnership now. Our ocean, our life. Second, open doors to learning. Education is how we secure our future. We must open doors in early childhood, in technical training, and in the blue and green economies. Our youth must carry forth the wisdom of our ancestors, the navigation, the conservation, the respect, and the skills of science, technology, and governance. Sport is also a door to learning. It is where our youth find discipline, health, and their common ground for unity. As much as we want our youth to excel in sports, which is their common denominator for practical unity, Juke still does not have a sports complex. That gap has limited our athletes in our ability to host. Therefore, Juke is moving forward and asks for your support to build our own sports complex. And hopefully, this effort will move Juke closer to hosting micro games in the near future. A home for our athletes is a home for our future leaders. When we invest in learning, we invest in the leaders who will deliver on the work of our regional committees today: health, education, climate, energy, ocean, and workforce. Distinguished leaders, our challenges are shared: rising costs, infrastructure bottlenecks, and the need to advance gender equality. Juke remains committed. Last year, we hosted the National Women's Conference, and we will continue to partner regionally to build a framework that protects and empowers women and children. The time for discussion has passed. The time for implementation is now. Juke commits to partner, to share, and to deliver. Let us leave Pohnpei with policies that protect our people and our environment, and with systems that ensure every child in every island has a door to learning opens. I sincerely hope that the insights we gain from this forum will inspire us to take meaningful actions that truly benefit everyone. Because when our communities are healthy, guided by God and by our traditions, and when our doors to learning are open, Micronesia will not only endure, Micronesia will lead. We are one people, we are one ocean, we are one Micronesia. With that note, Mr. Chairman, let's not forget that while those in leadership roles within our governance may change over time, our commitment to progress should remain steadfast. May God bless the 28th Micronesian Island Forum. May God bless our Micronesia and our people. Mr. Chairman.
Jabur, Governor Narun, for your inspiring remarks. I am especially pleased to learn that you are already implementing strategies to confront NCD. And with your very challenging environment with respect to the islands being spread apart, I'm sure it's not an easy task. But congratulations. And now I would like to recognize Honorable Governor Pahrek on the stage.
Thank you, Mr. Chairman. Your Excellencies, Special Envoys, Honorable Governors, Dean, and members of the Diplomatic Corps, esteemed guests, ladies and gentlemen. It is my great honor and privilege to join you today for the 28th Micronesian Islands Forum. On behalf of the people and government of Pahrek, I extend my warmest greetings of Rainbow to all of you who have gathered with a shared commitment to strengthening our communities and building a brighter future for our people. This year's theme, Promote Healthy Communities, Open Doors to Learning, speaks directly to two of the greatest investments we can make in our islands, the health of our people and the education of our children and future generations. Healthy communities are the foundation of strong nations. When our people have access to quality health care, nutritious food, clean water, safe environments, and opportunities to live active and productive lives, our communities become stronger and more resilient. We must continue working together to address the challenges facing our islands, including non-communicable diseases, mental and physical well-being, and the impacts of climate change on food security and public health. At the same time, education opens doors to opportunity. Learning empowers our young people to think, to innovate, and to become leaders who can carry our islands forward. We must ensure that every child has the opportunity to learn, not only in our classrooms, but also through our families, our communities, cultures, and the knowledge passed down by our elders. As island communities, we understand the importance of working together. Our challenges may cross borders, but so too our opportunities. By sharing our experiences, strengthening partnerships, and investing in our people, we can create healthier communities and expand educational opportunities throughout Micronesia. The future of our islands depends on the choices we make today. Let us choose to invest in our children. Let us choose to protect the health and well-being of our people. Let us choose cooperation over isolation and knowledge over uncertainty. As we begin this forum, I encourage all of us to engage openly, listen carefully, and learn from one another. May our discussions lead to practical actions that strengthen our communities, expand opportunities for learning, and preserve the unique cultures and values that make Micronesia so special. Let us move forward together with unity, purpose, and hope. Promote healthy communities, open doors to learning, and together let us build a stronger and more prosperous Micronesia for generations to come. Thank you, and may God bless the people and islands of Micronesia.
Hello, Governor Pahrek, for your encouraging remarks and affirmation of the common issues that we will share around. And now I would like to call upon the Honorable Governor Itimay to state of the House.
Thank you, Chairman. Your Excellencies, President Vasily Simona of the Federated States of Micronesia, Outgoing absentia, the Republic of Nauru, the proxies, the President is not here but has a proxy with us, and President Pwuhng of the Republic of the Marshall Islands, Honorable Governors, Governor Guerrero of Pwuhng, Governor David Uptown of the Commonwealth of the Northern Mariana Islands, Governor Alexander Harun of Chuuk State, Governor Talisa Pahrek of Costa State, Governor Stevenson Joseph of Pohnpei State, and all other dignitaries that are here. Let me also recognize our Vice President who's here with us in the absence of the President. Thank you for joining us, Vice President Alec. It is my distinct honor and privilege to address you all at the 28th Micronesian Islands Forum, a gathering that stands as a testament to our unity, resilience, and shared aspirations as people of the Pacific. I would like to first extend my deepest gratitude to the Joseph Bovik administration for graciously hosting this year's forum in the beautiful state of Pohnpei. Your warm hospitality has created a welcoming environment for all delegates, and I join you in welcoming everyone gathered here for this important occasion. We convene at a pivotal time for Micronesia and the wider Pacific region. Our collective challenges, ranging from climate change, health and education, to the preservation of our cultural heritage and the pursuit of sustainable development, require us to reaffirm our commitment to regional cooperation and solidarity. This forum, under the inspiring theme, promote healthy communities, open doors to learning, unquote, calls upon us to renew our effort in advancing the well-being and prosperity of our people. Healthy communities are the foundation of strong across our islands. We have witnessed the profound impact of health crisis on our families, economies, and way of life. It is incumbent upon us as leaders and necessary to prevent all these diseases, foster wellness, and ensure that every individual can lead a healthy, fulfilling life. Our collaboration on public health initiatives, healthy infrastructure, and capacity building remains more crucial than ever. Equally, the doors to learning must be wide open for every Micronesian. Education is the engine of opportunity, innovation, and progress. By investing in our youth, strengthening our education systems, and embracing new modes of learning, we not only equip our people for the future, but also honor the wisdom and traditions of our ancestors. Let us strive to make education more accessible, relevant, and informative, preparing our children to be the leaders, thinking, and caretakers of tomorrow. The Micronesian Islands Forum has long been a beacon for regional dialogue and partnership. Through our discussions and activities over the coming days, I am confident that we will forge new pathways for cooperation, share innovative solutions, and reaffirm our shared vision for a vibrant and sustainable Micronesia. Our diversity is our strength, and our unity is our power. To all participants and delegates, your presence here signifies a steadfast dedication to the betterment of our states, nations, and region. I look forward to meaningful and productive exchange that will shape the future of Micronesia for generations to come. Let us work together, inspired by our theme to promote healthy communities and open doors to learning, ensuring that our islands continue to thrive in harmony and resilience and hope. Thank you, and I wish all of us a successful and impactful forum. Thank you.
Governor Itimai, for your, again, words of encouragement and support, and your suggestions on how to move forward. Now we move to CNMI and saving the best for last. If I am not mistaken, as I look around the table, you might be the youngest principal sitting at the table. And I know it's very fitting, given that the youth participation MIF has accepted and should be part of this gathering. So the last words you will hear is from the peer, the young leader. So I'd like to invite Mr. Clement Joseph Fernandez to speak on behalf of Governor.
Thank you, Governor, and let me just to say good afternoon. Your Excellencies, Honorable Governors, and Micronesian friends and partners. Hafidez and Tiro, on behalf of the entire Commonwealth of the Northern Mariana Islands. It's a pleasure to be here in the beautiful state of Pohnpei, in the Federated States of Micronesia, for the 28th Micronesian Islands Forum. I'd first like to extend my appreciation to our hosts and the traditional leaders for a warm welcome and great reception last night. I also want to extend our appreciation to all of the leaders and representatives gathered here today. President Heine, thank you for your leadership this past year of this forum, and Governor Joseph, congratulations on your new chairmanship. Governor David Pwuhng sends his deepest regrets for not being able to join us in person. He and many others in our government are so actively working on and leading typhoon recovery efforts back home. Our gathering today comes at an important time for our region. The Pacific continues to face challenges that do not stop at borders or political boundaries. Rising sea levels, natural disasters, energy security, economic development, tourism and air connectivity, healthcare, education improvements, and the protection of our communities and natural resources, ocean resources, which currently face possible exploitation, are challenges that we all share. Just this year, the Commonwealth and Marianas experienced the devastating impacts of 2 Category 5 typhoons, Sinlaku and Bobby. These storms reminded us of the tremendous of our islands, but they also reminded us of something equally important. Our strength comes from one another and the resiliency that we all share. In times of crisis, our Pacific neighbors have always demonstrated a willingness to stand together, support one another, and share knowledge and resources as we achieve capacity building throughout the region. That spirit of cooperation is what makes forums such as this one quite vital. While the Commonwealth of the Northern Mariana Islands is a United States territory and does not have the same sovereignty as many of our Micronesian neighbors, we remain deeply connected to this region through our shared geography, history, culture, families, and experiences. Our political status may be different, but our challenges, our responsibilities, and our aspirations as specific communities are often the same. This forum serves not only as a reminder of the importance of regional cooperation, but also as a reaffirmation of our collective commitment to building a stronger, more resilient, and more prosperous Micronesian subregion. As we come together over the next few days, I hope that we can continue to strengthen the relationships between our governments and what I think is more important, between our people. Because the future of Micronesia will not be shaped by any one island alone. It will be shaped by what we accomplish together. So with that, I think I'm the last thing between us and lunch. So thank you, Pwuhng and Governor.
Thank you, Mr. Joseph Fernandez, for your comments. I hope our youth is listening. So this brings us to our formal part of the program. But before I turn over the mic on the floor, rather to MC, I wish to once again express my humble honor to receive a baton from President Heine in carrying out the duties of the chairperson for this office forum. President Heine, please, I will be relying on your wise wisdom as I try to put on the shoes that you have worn in service in this forum. So with that, I will turn over the floor to Harrison.
Thank you, Governor, and Excellencies and Honorable Governors. I had a really good rest. So, Excellencies and distinguished delegates, thank you for your valuable remarks. This concludes our morning session. But before we adjourn, we kindly invite principals and heads of delegation to step forward for the official group photo. We want to make sure of that because we know that a lot of delegation will depart from us in the afternoon. Following the photograph, leaders will break for lunch, and bilateral discussions may convene between different delegations. And so this is where our liaison officers can work with your direct delegation coordinators and assign those appropriate bilaterals that's needed between different delegations. We have a couple rooms, and they all know where to point your direction. So, but your lunch is provided. So, we want to thank the generous sponsor of this lunch for your fellow leaders, MRA Advisors Incorporated. So the lunch will be served on site. And I'm told by our beautiful AG, who's organizing your lunches and refreshments and everything, that she will try to accommodate everybody else, the delegations that are supporting each of the leaders. You guys are in for a treat. So, before we get up to take the photo, leaders, and that we must, I'd like to just point our attention in the afternoon. We respectfully ask that you convene at your spot on the table this afternoon at 1:30 as much as possible. So those of you who are supporting your principals, be mindful of the time and try to bring them up back into the room at 1:30. And liaison officers assist those delegation support staff. So with that, thank you very much for a great morning, and I now invite, on behalf of Governor and Lieutenant Governor, invite all of you important guests to come forward here so we can memorialize your gathering of the 28th Micronesian Island. Thank you very much. So the photographers, make sure you have the best cameras out to take the photos. But the liaison officers, go ahead and assist their leaders, bring them up to the front. You might have to move the podium.
Ito yung one
So if I may, Governor, give me a bit of direction. The outgoing chair, MIF 27, and incoming chair, or now the new chair, Pohnpei, Governor, will stand in the middle. And the principals from Palau and FSM will flank the two chairs, outgoing and incoming. So they're posted in the middle and the rest falling where you're comfortable.
Is he telling the truth?
Thank you. Okay, so we're now on lunch break. MRA is hosting your lunch, and liaison officers coordinate with the heads of delegations whether they would like to have a meeting, and then put them in the right rooms. The rooms can be in here, in the Molanwa cabinet or TNI conference room. So all those spaces, you can occupy them with different delegations. Also, for the First Ladies, you may feel free to have lunch with your spouses as appropriate. And then at 1 o'clock, 1:30, we will bring you over to Pohnpei Women Council. So thank you very much. That concludes our enjoyable half-day session, and my colleague here will pick it up in the afternoon to lead it. Principals, bit of correction on my announcement. Your lunch is ready in the cabinet room.